IVM.
TFG Football is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like Geek Fruit with fellow and television geeks Tejas, Jishnu and Dinkar as they discuss the world of science fiction and nerd culture.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Hello and welcome everyone. It's a new episode of the TFG Indian Football Podcast, and I am your host Siju Matthew, and I have both the boys here, Kevin and Chiranjeet. Hello boys.
Hello Siju.
Hi Chiranjeet.
Hello.
So today, before we are continuing with the previews of the ISL teams and I-League teams. So before that, whatever news, let's see what's making news in the Indian football. Now India is going to play Myanmar. The home leg is on 14th of November, Children's Day.
Yes.
Is it? So I think Goa should be doing some, great tie-ups with some schools around, colleges around, and say, hey, chutti hai, jaake football dekho, watch India play.
It's gonna be the most PG-13 event ever held in Goa.
Yeah, and the squad is out, so the camp is being held in Mumbai, like always. We have not many changes, but two players have been dropped due to injuries, and that's Nikhil Pujari and Roland Borges. Unfortunate news, Kevin.
Roland Borges goes away from midfield. Who's going to replace him? Very interesting.
Lindo
is free.
He'll be a one-man show. He'll run.
He can do that. He just put in another striker up front, and he can manage the entire of midfield himself. I mean the central midfield, not the entire midfield. Yes.
But it is more or less the same squad, right? I mean, even if you take these two players out, it's more or less the same players. Chiranjeet, any surprises for you?
Yeah, why take out more or less when you're playing in? I mean, why take out Roland Borges? I said more or less. Why? You're taking out Roland Borges when you're playing in Goa. Come on. I mean, we should have seen him there, man. We know that he's not been the best, but yeah, take it, man. Give him some chance. But I guess what Constantine is thinking is that this is going to be the last match we're going to play in a while. There are no more FIFA dates between November and March. So for 4 months, he's not going to see his players again. So he's just trying to try out something new. And, we need to win this. We need to, keep trying for the pot too. But with the situation in AIFF, everything going down the drain, we may not get enough good friendlies in March to sort of make up for what we need to do. So, yeah, might as well try some new guys out in this game.
Yeah, it should be a good game, and we'll talk about it in detail when we are closing in on the date now. Hopefully, they have a good camp and they could put up a good show in Goa. Moving on, some other news that ISL FC and Bengaluru FC have been given the license, the club license, AFC club license, and it's a big thing. I mean, it shows that they are serious about what they are doing, and I think they deserved it because they've been putting up a great show, not only in terms of playing well in their top division, but also doing at the grassroots level. And we know both these two clubs are in it for a long term, right? We all know that. Chiranjeet, your thoughts on that? I mean, it's deserving.
Bengaluru FC. Yeah, the thing is, Bengaluru FC have had an AFC club license since 2015, so no surprises there. ISL FC, this is their first time they got licensed, and unfortunately they are having to move their AFC matches to Guwahati to get the whole thing approved. Because I mean, the issue is that the airport is too far away and they don't have any 5-star hotels in ISL.
Yeah,
that's why they missed out. I mean, AFC regulations have some strange things, man. Meanwhile, East Bengal and Mohun Bagan, I think both these clubs have everything they require, most of the things they require to get a club license. What the issue with Mohun Bagan was that they have Sanjay Sen, who has the A license and not the pro coaching license. So, they're falling short of that criteria. Sanjay Sen could have done the whole pro license thing this summer, but he fell sick. He had a stroke and he had to be hospitalized and operated on. So that went out of the window. So Mohun Bagan did not get the AFC license. East Bengal, meanwhile, they have a pro license coach in Khalid Jamil. But guess what happened with them? East Bengal don't know when they're going to play. Like the I-League fixtures are not out yet. Okay, so when you don't know which dates you're going to play on, you cannot rent a stadium, right?
Okay,
Yeah, so they said they have not signed the papers with the Salt Lake Stadium yet. So what this does is that they cannot show Salt Lake Stadium at this moment with document to back this up. And the new AFC regulation requires a 5,000 seat bucket seat wala stadium you have to show if you are going to get an AFC club license. So because of the fixtures being completely out of whack in I-League, East Bengal are also not getting AFC club license. So both these clubs will get the national license, and same thing with everybody else. Total 7 I-League clubs will get a license this season, national license. The committee will reconvene and give out the licenses later. And guess how many ISL teams are getting a license? 0. None of them have applied. Bengaluru have had it from before. I'm talking about and Bengaluru FC are applying without even playing a single ISL match.
Right.
Other than that, the other 9 leave out Jamshedpur FC because they've just been formed. Others have been given a 1-year exception. So before 2019, we're not going to see a single ISL team with a club license, neither national nor AFC.
Well, that's the case, right? That's how the scenario is. But Kevin, what does it mean? ISL FC and Bengaluru FC, you think they've been rewarded for what they've been doing?
I think it's part of. They had to get it as well FC because they're playing in the AFC Champions League, and obviously if they do not manage to be successful there, they do drop and play in the AFC Cup. So it had to be given to as well FC. Unless that it was impossible. But again, talking about ISL teams, they are not in here for they are franchisee based teams, and till they do not get a guarantee that the ISL becomes a top tier, it's difficult for these teams to take those approaches where the initiatives have to come from the team themselves. Like for example, Bengaluru FC, they already have a plan in place for right from the inception. So it's again, what do you want to see in the long term? So Bengaluru FC has got it sorted for a very long time. So not a problem for the ISL teams. It's not a mandate that they have to get the license in place to go ahead.
Yeah, also for the fact that we always kept saying, right? Other professional football teams or clubs should look at Bengaluru FC, how they work and function. I think it's now time that the ISL teams, now that Bengaluru is in ISL, the other teams and franchisees should look at them, because more or less they're all the corporate teams, right? They're all funded by corporates and all of that. So I think it's a great example put out there, and it's time that they take things seriously and they know that here, at least they show us that they're here for the long term. Now moving on, Chiranjeev mentioned Mohun Bagan. What do we have about Mohun Bagan? Pre-season, FC Pune City defeated Mohun Bagan 4-1. What happened, Chiranjeev?
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, complete bad performance from Mohun Bagan. They were trying to experiment with the defense, put in Gurjinder, which was, this is a pre-season match, so you get away with things like that. But there is no way. Okay, this was a closed door friendly, and what information we have is what Mohun Bagan's fans saw from the crack of a gate. Okay, and they basically had to struggle to keep that gate a little bit open to catch a glimpse of the match, and there was a bouncer that tried to throw them out of the stadium premises during that. So all of that happened. Apparently, complete lack of turning up for the game from the Mohun Bagan defense. They did well in the first half when Pune City FC were the actually attacking side. They dominated most of the time. Second half, Mohun Bagan started playing much better. They were trying to create chances, but what was happening was that Sony Norde was just moving up the left flank as he does. But the others, especially Dipanda, who was playing the first match with the club, he was not prepared at all.
He was not prepared to what? To play?
He had never played with Sony Norde before, so he was not matching up with the positioning that Sony Norde requires in order to put the cross into the goal.
So the club players have to adjust to Sony Norde now.
Yeah, they have to, because if you're...
I have never heard this thing anywhere else. I've heard you have to adjust
to... It's not Sony Norde. Kevin, it's not Sony Norde. If your winger is going up, so the striker has to adjust the position to get to the ball, right? So that was not the case. The space that Sony Norde was creating was not being matched up by the central striker.
So they could have subbed Sony Norde then.
They could have subbed Sony Norde, then who would be creating the chances? Because the midfield was complete dog shit. They did not play Chestapol Lingdo, probably because this is against his parents' club. So they benched him and tried out somebody else. And the right wing just completely shut down. So basically, Mohun Bagan created no chances through the right wing. And what happened was that 20-25 minutes into the game, Pune City realized that these guys have a dog shit midfield and a dog shit right wing. So let's put 3 guys on Sony Norde. And 3 defenders just manned Sony Norde, and they just kept fouling him. Still, Mohun Bagan sort of created at least 7-8 set-piece opportunities, scored from a corner. All of that went down, and because the defense was not turning up either anyway, they conceded 3 goals. So more or less, FC Pune City dominated the proceedings. They were the better team, so they won. Mohun Bagan need a lot of work, because this set of players have not been playing together for long. The team that was playing in CFL was very different. The one that went to Sikkim Gold Cup was also very different. So lots of time, lots of making up to do for Mohun Bagan. If this is not a red flag for their season, I don't know what else it can be. So they need to step up.
Well, I think all the I-League teams have a lot of time for them, to prepare, because just like, the way they're going, we yet don't have a confirmation on the dates of the leagues. I think they have a lot of time to prepare.
Yeah, it may be that, the I-League will start in February. Who knows?
You never know. It's AIFF, right? The stepmotherly treatment. So you never know. We are still in doldrums about that fixtures, but once we know, we will let you know as well. Or else if it's the other way around, if you guys know, let us know too.
The thing is, ESPN put out that story that I-League is set to begin from 25th November. So some people, some club owners have been told, like, your match is on 28th, be prepared. Some have been told 25th. And Ranjit Bajaj said he had been told 22nd. So if I-League starts on 25th, how come Minerva Punjab is playing on 22nd? I don't know, man. Nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. It's all out of...
Well, all we know is India is a footballing nation now. That's all we have. That's all we care about. So let's move on. We'll slip into a short break now, and on the other side we have 2 teams to preview, and both the teams, one from ISL, the other from I-League, but both are connected to NorthEast. So let's find out which teams are we going to talk about. Coming soon on the other side.
Hi, I'm May, and I'm a huge fan of the indie music scene in our country. A scene that's relatively underground, even though it sometimes speaks its head overground, but there's no shortage of talent, and I get the privilege of interviewing some of the most awesome musicians on my show. I've had the likes of Euphoria, Krish Kale, Hardcore, Randolph Correa. I've had singer-songwriters, folk singers, electronic music producers, playback singers, rappers, fusion artists, instrumentalists, classical musicians, and so on. Whether mainstream or not, these people have chosen to release their original music, and these are the people currently shaping the direction in which our music scene is heading. Join me on my show every Monday and tune in to discover the unique talent coming out of India today. You can catch Made in India on your favorite podcasting app or our very own IVM podcast app.
Welcome back, and yes, it was a short break because we don't like, to keep ourselves quiet for a very long time. So let's start talking. And today we have NorthEast United from ISL, and we're looking at NEROCA, the champions from 2nd Division who've earned their spot in the top division league. But first, let's look at the NorthEast United squad. Now, when you look at the NorthEast United squad, for me, I am looking at the Indians there, and I'm like, wow. They've always amazed with that part, right? Because they've always had the young, the local players from there, from all the states from North, because they call themselves NorthEast United, so I'm sure most of them are from that side. But young legs, and we always say a fresh team. But just like I said, when I look at all the Indian players, they're like, okay, one after the other, you keep picking when you're looking at the goalkeeping side as Ranesh TP, and when you go ahead. But I have just one doubt: will Nirmal Chetri play? I won't be surprised.
Will Nirmal Chetri stay on the field for 90 minutes? We're not talking about substitution.
That's a good one, Kevin. Kevin, let's start with you itself now. Since I mentioned Nirmal Chetri, so look at the goalkeeping side will definitely go to Ranesh TP, right? I mean, he knows the conditions at NorthEast United. He's played there for the team in the past, so I think there is no other. I mean, you won't choose anyone else over him unless there's an injury. But you have any other thoughts? Do you agree on that or?
Ranesh TP is the first choice, obviously, and he's the player who was also retained.
Yeah.
That itself shows that there will be a reliability on his goalkeeping. The Indian midfield here in NorthEast United, Indian defence, I mean, yes, it looks strong with Nirmal Chetri there. Ringan Singh is also there.
Robert.
So it's kind of, it's not the very most promising defense here. The reason being they do require someone in the foreign department to get some stability here. So I feel you might just see a leaky defense at the start of the season unless they can just, because they are on tour still. I'm sure they might be back very shortly. So they're kind of doing okay, but the defense again needs to work a little.
So Ranjit, what do you think about those three defenders, the foreign defenders here? Will they be crucial to the defense line for NorthEast?
Yeah, of course. I see. This is not the strongest team in ISL.
Yeah.
All right. But what actually stands out about this team when you look at it at the first glance is that of course the Indians are there, but when you're looking at the caliber of the foreign players that they have brought in, they will take the driving seat. And this is actually more so in the case than the other seasons, right? You have Samina, 6'2" guy, Sporting CP, Sporting Club Portugal. He played for their B team. He can score from the set pieces. He's actually played for the Guinea-Bissau national team for a while. You have another very tall Portuguese defender, Gonçalves, and he's also played in clubs like Sion and represented Portugal under 21. Then another 6'2". All the foreign defenders, by the way, in NorthEast United are 6'2". The Uruguayan defender from Wanderers, Montevideo Wanderers. So these are the three defenders, along with we have Robert Laszlo Moana from ISL FC and Ringan Singh.
Yeah.
So these are five good defenders. I didn't even count Nirmal Chetri there. And Gursimrat Singh Gill. seven total. Good. And Abdul Haku, by the way. good deep defense. But just look at what the point I was trying to make was three foreign defenders who are very good experience, backed up by Indian defenders, some of whom Nirmal Chetri, let's count him out at this point. Three defenders.
It's okay. Let's imagine that he's got a second yellow and he's out.
Yeah. So because Nirmal Chetri is just disturbing the equation here.
Yeah.
So three foreign defenders with experience, and they have three foreign strikers with experience. So what this does is that this gives them an ability of completely switching where the weight of the team is. Yeah, if they are in a situation where they need to go full on attack, they can use an all Indian defense and put three strikers out there. If they really need to put all the emphasis on the defense, they can leave one foreign striker out there and use three foreign defenders and just close out the game. This team can change directions very easily within the course of a game, and that is not the case with most other teams.
Yeah. Now, when I look at moving on with the midfielders, we look at one name that comes first, Roland Burgess. So here he is. I think he was also.
According to Eiley.
According to Eiley. I think even he was retained, right, along with the NHTP.
Yeah.
So, there you go. The other trusted player and who's been there with the team and who knows how the conditions work. But when you look at other names as well, like Lalrin Ralte, Fanai, Lalrem Puya and Mithai, and then there are two foreign midfielders from Brazil. So, Kevin, how does this video look like?
No, Lalrindika Ralte is the leader over here. He's got the most experience among the Indian squad here. And I think his role will be pivotal in this kind of a team that's not looking very strong. But he's the one who can change things over here because he can climb up from the left wing. He does play a bit of defensive at times, but his set pieces are something to die for. He's one guy who can just create panic with his pinpoint balls. So for me, he's the leader. I won't be surprised if he's given the captain's armband. But again, we've not seen the trend. Usually, it's the foreigners who take charge over here. Yes, Roland Borges now he's going through an injury phase. I hope he can be back when the season starts. So he, along with someone in the midfield that is one of the Brazilians, that can be a pairing that we can see create some wonders. So yes, as Chiranjit pointed out, the foreigners will play a crucial role, not just in the defensive, in the midfield as well. So the Brazilians here are looking, looks set to pair up with one of the Indians in the central midfield. So most likely it's going to be Marcino. We've seen him get some game time in the foreign tours. So we've also got along with that Maite is there.
Yep.
He's one of the names that can be seen as making substitute appearance at the beginning, but during the due course of the season, things might just take a different shape according to the formation and tactics of coach.
Okay, Chiranjit, on the same page, or do you have something else?
Well, you're gonna have Marcino in the attacking midfield, Roland Borges in defensive midfield. If they need to go a bit more aggressive, they can have Fanai Lalrempuya replace Roland Borges in the central midfield. Lalrindika Ralte, I'm actually really looking forward to this to him this season because it seems like he's got a good chance to start a lot on the left wing, and and he's got some really good strikers to cross to in the middle. So that's good for him.
Well, moving on with the forwards, like Chiranjit also mentioned, they have three strong strikers as well. Along with, if you look at the two Indian names, even they can balance it off. Holicharan Nazari and Semnilin Dunjul, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Dongal. Okay, there you go. My bad. And Chiranjit, what do you think? Forward strikers, you mentioned about the strikers, but if you look at overall, we do have a balance here.
Yeah, well, Holicharan and Seminlen are both still up and coming, right? Seminlen is how old? He's 23. Holicharan, he's also 23. Both of them have been doing some good work for the Indian under 23 and Indian national team as well. Actually, Seminlen has not played for Indian national team yet, so he's played for under 23. So these are two good, solid prospects to pick up, but you don't want them to start right out yet, especially when you have Odair Fortes or Louis Paez or Danilo over here. I would really love to see a trifecta of or a triumvirate of Marcino, Adilson, and Danilo. Three Brazilians leading the attack from the midfield up. So doesn't matter if you put the weight on the midfield. It will actually. I would love to see that. I love Indian-Brazilian combination for some reason. So just put an all-Indian midfield, put the two Brazilians and just one striker ahead. Even that would work out fine for them. And it's good, man. The weight once again looks like in the midfield. I don't know why they have 5 good strikers in the team. How many injuries they're expecting? I think they're paranoid after having their main players just getting out of action so often that screwed up their chances. So they just went all out on this. But yeah, it looks good. It's not the strongest. You don't see slayers out here, but there's stability.
Kevin?
Alfaro, Katsumi Yusa, and this will hurt them. These guys were actually the ones who were holding the team together.
Velez.
Yes, the trio. I was just missing him. Now this who's going to be replacing them? Who can take that performances that they brought out towards the end of the season that got them so close to getting into the playoffs last season. So I think it's going to be these new foreigners that are going to be a game changer. So yes, I do see a pairing in the foreign department. That's Danilo and Oder, who's been starting a lot and in the foreign tours. So Nazari, yes, as Chiranjeev is saying, yes, he's got experience on him, but again, it's against teams like Nepal, in the friendlies, not really in the competitive matches. So he's still to get there. Same with Dungil there. So that's the part over here that it's more favourable to the foreigners to be seen in the striking department.
Overall, when you look at it, it's okay, not a very bad, but you don't have that great team, as Kevin rightly mentioned, those names that are missing, that we've seen them in the past. But let's see, there's Portuguese coach right now, and they have, he's also got the assistant and the strength and conditioning coach are also from Portugal. So let's see how João Carlos Perez, they use one person. They are not those three guys I mentioned. That's one guy. Let's see how the Portuguese flavor works here with some Brazilian as well, because they have Brazilian players in the squad. So let's see how NorthEast United play when the season starts. We think it's fairly okay team, not great but not that bad as well. Moving on with the I-League team. Now we have NEROCA here, who are the second division champions, which earned them a spot in the top division. Well, that itself says that they were throughout they were fighting hard. They've earned this place. But before we start off, I must admit that I'm not very familiar with any players here. That's my bad, but I am looking forward to getting myself familiar with these players. You never know, there's a future star here who's going to be big enough. Now we start with Chiranjeev, what do you think about this new team who will be playing in the top division league?
Yeah, well, the NEROCA recently played a match against NorthEast United, and NorthEast United won it 2-0. It was an open door friendly, not like these closed door craps. So it was the scoreline sort of flattered NorthEast United, because this team put up a hell of a fight. It just looks like they have been able to put together a very credible side on a very short notice, and part of it is because the people associated with this club have been active in Indian football for a very long time. For example, the owner group is actually a relative of Renedy Singh. So that when you have a powerful figure like that, who is loosely associated with the club, he's going to get you some really good signings, and that's what happened. So yeah, this is they managed to get in people like Saran Singh, Sushil Kumar, Pritam Singh, Subhash Singh, Lalit Thapa is in there, and some pretty good new signings as well. They've actually secured Akhlidin Ilrairov. I think he was known as Amirov to most East Bengal fans last season. So yeah, all of that seems to be falling into place for them, and a few good foreign signings as well. So don't discount this team. That's what I'm going to say. They have a lot of players in their squad who have been retained from the second division team, and they will be playing in this level for the first time. But with the amount of guidance backing them up, I don't really think that's going to be too much of a problem. They're going to be a more credible or competitive side, let's say, than ISL FC in their first season.
Kevin?
No, I must admit I have not seen this team play, but definitely one thing is for sure, the coach of this team, Gift. I love that.
Gift.
Yeah, I love that name. he was part of Pune FC when they were in the top division, and he's worked his way through the youth ranks. He was part of the teams that were under 15, under 17. Then finally he was in charge, as an assistant coach of the senior team. So that gives you an understanding that he's worked his way up and he's seen players grow. So when you talk about the Northeast, you see talents come up, and the Northeast is, there is a tie-up between Northeast United and NEROCA. Obviously, there's some strategic tie-up. They've got some, mutually benefiting clauses there. So obviously, that friendly was also part of it. So yes, coming back to this team which will be playing in the top division. Not very known players except Sushil Kumar here, who has played.
Mangi for that matter.
Gaur Mangi. These players are aging. They are well past their 30, 32. So it's difficult to understand. What will go in this team with respect to, will it be a balanced side, or will it be But the experience of the coach comes in handy here. He's worked with a lot of players in Pune FC. Also, we've seen a lot of players coming from the Northeast into the academy of Pune FC. So it's an all-around experience that the coach brings to the team. And the way they finished last season, second division, I think well before the season ended, they've already made champions. So that's the strength that they have. So coming to the top division for the first time, I think it's the coach's experience that will make the difference here.
Now, keeping to that point that you mentioned, coach's experience. Now, you being a coach, I keep mentioning that. It gives me a great privilege to say that. And now when you have, the team, but the team is relatively new in the top division with some other big names who've been there, done that kind of thing in the top division. But it's not like Chiranjit mentioned, let's not, cut away this side, because they will be they can be a tough opponents, and just because we don't know some familiar names, like when I say we, I'm putting myself in that. What would be the coach's strategy? What will be the talk in the dressing room, or before the season starts, or while they are at it?
I think the talk is the last part of your coaching. Talk is always never going to change your game. It's the hard work that you show on field. It's the practice. It's the preseason, where you get to know, each other's strengths. When you have a fairly new team, that becomes more important. Like Chiranjit mentioned, Sony Norde and Dika cannot work together. That's again coming to the practice. If this team has been playing for a long time, there's nothing that stops them from achieving the best.
Chiranjit, where do you see, as a summing up, where do you see NEROCA doing, and how do you see them doing? Because will they live up to the expectations? There's a lot of, all eyes will be on them.
It's not going to be, it's not going to be easy, but you don't expect them to, just win the league on the first season.
Right.
They're not Bengaluru FC. But they will hold up well. They will be fast. We always keep saying how Mizoram Premier League is so fast that many I-League established players will not survive there. And I have never seen the Manipur State League, but people tell me it's faster than the Mizoram Premier League. So you can say that so many of these players are coming straight out of that state league. They will be super fast. So we're gonna have a team that's very fluid and very good on the midfield. Midfield looks heavy as well.
Yep.
Gaur Mangi is there in the defense. Lalit Thapa, 32 years old, he's been doing well in Churchill Brothers. He got some games for Pune City as well. So we have the others like Govind Singh. He's got some top division experience, and we have the likes of Sharan Singh and Sushil Kumar Singh, Pritam Singh up front, Subhash Singh up front, and in the middle you're going to see the foreigners fill in the gaps. It's very hard to immediately give a verdict on this team because most of the players, just look at the squad list. Most of them are unknown to me at this point. So you can't just immediately say, okay, this will happen, that will happen, but this team, it looks okay. I mean, just going by other similar teams who have made their way into the top division for the first time, as Lajong was, as Royal Wangdo was, or even when Bhawanipur was trying to do well. These guys just come in to try to prove something, right? And if they're coming in with that zeal, they're gonna create a lot of upsets.
Yeah. At
least down the lane. I mean, teams like Chennai City FC, Minerva Punjab need to watch out because this club might just surpass them.
Well, yeah, I mean, interesting thoughts out there, and I'm eagerly looking forward to. It's also going to be my homework because keeping an eye out for all these players in the team that are unknown, because you never know, they're going to be catching your attention with their gameplay on the field, and it'll be great to see some new action in I-League. They may not have the experience playing as a team, but there are a few players who've tasted the top division. So let's see how that works out for them, and if their coach Gift Riken can keep his name to itself and saying, probably gift the season, gift us the I-League who watched the top division some great result out there and some great footballing out there. It'll be fun to see, and then we can slowly shift from Mizoram to, hey, you know what, Manipur is also there. That's all, folks, for today. Hope you enjoyed the show. Let us know what you think about both these teams that we spoke about in the comment section below on the YouTube channel of ours. If you did like it, then please show that you liked it. Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon that you see so you get updates of our new episodes whenever it's out. We're a daily show, so we'll come back to you tomorrow as well and continue previewing the ISL and I-League teams respectively. Now you can talk to us directly on Twitter, Chiranjit Oja, Boza_Kevin, Sujumatthew94. Follow the TFG Football Twitter handle where you get all the updates about Indian football. You can also read about all these stories on our website, thefangraphs.com. Have a great day, folks. Cheers.
That was Tantrik Steve from Hansraj College, Delhi, performing at IIT Bombay's Mood Indigo. Just like them, there's a lot of new talent and art coming out of colleges all across India, but unfortunately most of this goes completely unnoticed or ignored. To fix this, we started ATKT.in. Hi, I'm Ankur, I'm a musician and a rapper, and I found that one of the best things about being an artist myself is finding new talent. Through ATKT.in, Tanya, my colleague who's a dancer, and our whole team really is putting all of our efforts into discovering and promoting all the coolest talent that's coming out of colleges all across India. And this goes up on our website, our social media, TV, radio, and now, of course, this podcast with IVM. Make sure you go to our website, support the talent with your likes, your shares, your comments. All of that really matters. Go ahead, check it out. ATKT.in.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Sorry to say, but there's been a slight delay due to the apocalypse having suddenly begun. As you can see, there's death, destruction, and chaos taking place all around us. But don't you worry, food and drinks will be served shortly, and I would recommend checking out
IVM Podcasts
to get some of your favorite Indian podcasts. We'll keep you going till this whole thing blows over. Thank you.